did anybody watch the London Marathon? You didn't see me. I wasn't on the telly at all, but I did do it. Anyway, the word marathon comes from the legend of Philippides, the Greek messenger. It is widely believed that during the Battle of Marathon in August or September 490 BC, he saw a Persian vessel changing its course towards Athens. As the battle was near a victorious end for the Greek army, he interpreted this as an attempt by the defeated Persians to rush into the city to claim a false victory. It is said that he ran the entire distance to Athens without stopping, discarding his weapons and even clothes to lose as much weight as possible. And he burst into the assembly exclaiming, "We have won," before collapsing and dying. The marathon is 42.195 kilometers, or 26 miles, 385 yards, which is the believed distance that he ran on that fateful day. It was one of the original modern Olympic events in 1896, but the distance was not standardized until 1921. So there, less than 1% will run a marathon, and hopefully nobody will die. But he did. He did the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it was a good day. My son ran it too, so yeah.
Yeah, he did really well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right.
Thanks.
So back to business then. So webinars on the 20th of October, which is tomorrow. We should have all received an email. Please register to receive the recordings, even if you cannot attend, because they will send you the recordings. So the first one is a webinar from the IAB given by Kim Searle, who is an emotional mastery coach. Kim will be talking about empowerment, confidence, and discussing how much is a lack of confidence costing you. And the second is for member benefit Go Simple Tax, and it's Aidan, who was with us a couple of months ago, and he'll be talking about the expat's guide to tax. Any questions on that? Morning, no, chat's just morning. So swiftly then, we'll move on to Faye from Breathe. Breathe is a cloud-based HR for small, medium enterprises and a member benefit, offering a 14-day free trial and a 12-month discount for IAB members. You get a £20 Amazon voucher when joining their partner program, so worth doing. So Faye is going to show us around the platform with a focus on areas that you can access within your clients' accounts, such as pay, reporting, and personal data. And where are you, Faye? Are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, morning.
Morning. Thank you very much, Caroline. Interesting marathon fact there. I had not heard that, so that was really interesting to hear.
Oh,
so yes, hello everyone. I'm going to share my screen and chat to you a little bit about Breathe. So hopefully you can all see that. Somebody shout if you can't see my screen. But I'm going to take you around a few areas of a Breathe account, so you can hopefully understand how it could help potentially you in your business, but possibly more likely your client's business. So Breathe, as Caroline mentioned, cloud-based HR software system. Really our aims are to help people kind of centralize all their people data. So moving away from spreadsheets, filing cabinets, multiple different areas and ways that businesses might be storing data for their people that they employ. And hopefully you'll be able to see how you could benefit from using Breathe with your clients and potentially introducing it to your clients. We have a partner program to suit, so it's a really easy way of being able to recommend the system and get you access to the data that hopefully you'd benefit from accessing. So let's just take a look at a bit of a Breathe account now. So you'll see a people list on my screen here, which is essentially where you would go to access information that's held within different people's profiles. Think of this particular area as a traditional filing cabinet with lots of different files for lots of different people. On a person's profile, there is their basic information, personal information, if you need to access any of that. And there's also some key areas which you, in your kind of role and your support with the client, that you might benefit from using. So firstly, just to highlight the pay area. This is where you'd be able to access pay information for your client's employees, moving through different profiles if need be. Also, if they have any benefits or additional payments, then that might be useful as well. Perhaps if there's a quarterly bonus, you might need to have information of that, and you'd be able to log into your client's Breathe account and get that information. The other area is the sickness area. So perhaps your clients might have a policy where they don't pay anything for sick days. So if people need anything deducting off their salary each month for payroll, then you can access the information here. See when they've been off sick, you can take all of that information out of Breathe via exporting, and it easily gives you the days that perhaps need to be deducted or not paid for. The other area is the leave area, which you might find useful. So if they've taken any holiday, perhaps they don't have holiday pay, or somebody's gone over their allowance, then this might be useful to get this information. And again, you can export all of this from Breathe if need be. The information that I've showed you there can all be accessed easily via the reporting as well. So just to give you an idea about what that would look like, we've got a sickness overview report here showing any sicknesses within the business, all historic ones there, but you can use the filters to choose a particular date. So perhaps again, if you're helping your clients with payroll and that side of things, then you could filter the report accordingly for that. You're also able to have access to expense reports. So if clients are using that module and you're helping your clients pay their people their expenses, you can take a look at the expense reports for that, and that will give any information of any expenses that have been run through the system. The other thing that clients might use Breathe for is time logging. So this isn't the same as a time tracking tool. We do have a module for that, but this is a way of employees being able to log their time that they've perhaps spent doing some extra project work or any overtime. So if you're wanting to capture that overtime, then you can run the time logs report, and then that will give you an idea about who needs to be paid for what overtime. So as well as all of these reports and the functionality I've just mentioned, which might be useful to you in your role with the client, there's also other functionality which the client should really benefit from utilizing as well. So there's a way of being able to store training records for people, any courses that they've attended, and the performance area is a really good way of being able to schedule regular meetings with people, and objectives and deliverables can also be set from those meetings as well. So really helping the clients to give their employees a bit of ownership for their own goals. And really we're seeing and hearing a lot about employee retention, and actually utilizing these areas of Breathe is a really great way of being able to help with that if employees feel valued and feel like they're being developed, and using the system can help with that. The last thing I just want to mention is our kudos area. So again, employee focus, motivation, teamwork, recognition between colleagues. You're able to give kudos on an individual or department basis. Choose a colleague within the account, give them a kudos type. These can be set to be kind of client specific as well. Perhaps they'd want to use their values in here. And if a colleague sees another colleague perhaps living one of the core values of the company, they can pop a little message in, add an emoji, and give the kudos. That's viewed from the community tab of an individual's dashboard, and it's a really great way of kind of praising and recognizing each other's hard work. So hopefully that gives just a really quick overview of what the system can do, how it can help your clients specifically, but also help you access the data that you should find useful in your role and how you support the client. And if you want to learn more, then the web page, the member benefit page, is going to be shared after the session, and that gives some options on looking into the partner side of things a bit further. If you want to get the Amazon voucher, it's a really good thing to do. And also if you're looking to perhaps investigate using Breathe for your own business, if you've got employees as well. So that's it from me, Caroline. Short and sweet.
It was. Thank you very much, Faye. Have we got any questions? Samantha's put just about the webinars tomorrow, an email reminder on the webinars will be going out tomorrow again. Has anybody any questions for Faye? There's none coming through, Faye.
Okay, I'll stay
I
on
don't
till the
have
end
any.
anyway. So if anyone thinks of anything, then perhaps revisit them later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll shout.
I
Lovely, thank
use
you.
Breathe as well in my practice, so very useful tool. So, thank you.
Kudos for Breathe.
Kudos to Breathe,
Very
yeah.
using
absolutely.
Thank you.
Still no questions coming up. Anyway, swiftly we'll move on to David Taylor. Hey there, David. Oh, he's unmuted himself. David, for anybody who doesn't know, is an IAB director, and David will be talking about personal branding and the importance of branding for your business, specifically in relation to the effective use of LinkedIn. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Good morning. Nice to be here. Good morning, everyone else. Faye, thank you for your presentation.
No problem.
So I'm very much aware that a lot of IAB members have been asking around LinkedIn and making full use of LinkedIn. But what I wanted to do was actually take a little bit of a step back because ultimately we need to think, well, what is LinkedIn? What does it represent? Why would we be on it? We didn't have to be on it before. And many of you will probably think, well, it's a recruitment website. I'm a self-employed bookkeeper, so why would I be on a recruitment website? So all of those things aside, what I thought would be quite beneficial is to think about yourself as a professional, and that is who you are, and that is your own personal brand. Now, my understanding of bookkeepers, as with many people in professional services, is that people are doing business with you, irrespective of the name of your company, because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And that is what your personal brand is. And therefore, the stronger that you can make your personal brand, the more likely it is you are to win new business. So I'll just give you an idea about what a personal brand represents. So I'm just going to share my screen with you now. So up here is where I've Googled myself. So unfortunately, I've got a horrifically common name, hence the reason why I called my son Felix, because that was hopefully making it slightly less common. So when I search for myself on Google, obviously my website comes up. Second comes up my LinkedIn profile. A load of videos come up. YouTube comes up, where I've been speaking at other events. My IAB profile comes up, National Enterprise Met. So what you can see is that I have a strong online profile. And that is the result of me working pretty hard on that profile. So that is, you know, if once someone says, well, David, what's your brand online? How do you come across? It's clear that there is quite a lot of information about me. But what I want to do is take a little bit of a step back and understand for all of you. So if you were going to be on LinkedIn, or if you were to promote yourself, and that could include speaking at a coffee morning, speaking at a networking event, appearing at a conference, being on a stand at a conference, writing a blog, all of that is representative of who you are and what your own personal brand would be. So what I've got, I'm just going to share another image for you, and that's what I'm going to be talking through with you now, which really sets the scene for LinkedIn. So each of you you either you're in your bookkeeping business. So anyone who really is a professional today has a personal brand. So how do we grow that personal brand? How do we make the very most of it? So first of all, if we think about step number one, it's like, who are you? How would you like to come across? How do you perceive yourself? and how do others perceive you as? Some of you might, for example, we've got Caroline, we've got Sarah, we've got Janet. All of you are what I would deem to be thought leaders. You are putting yourself over and above the parapet. And therefore, the strategy, the plan there is actually, I want to be known within my profession for being an expert, whether that's around bookkeeping, which is about personal taxation, small business finance, all of those. Some of you, though, might say, okay, I just like to be known in my local area as a very good bookkeeper. I want to be known as trustworthy. I want to be known as experienced. And therefore, how you want to represent yourself is very much down to you and your own personal preferences, where you are in your life at the moment. Now, I understand, because I've worked with literally hundreds and hundreds of businesses. Some business owners don't want to put themselves above the parapet. They don't want to make a song and dance about what they do. However, equally, if you are running a business, you've sort of got to be in the business of promoting yourself. So if you want to promote yourself, then it's about building some form of strong brand, and which represents that. Secondly, then, comes down to what is your own personal culture? What are your personal values? What do you want to be known for? So, for example, now there are a number of business people who want to be known for having very ethical values, for very green values, very inclusive values, and that's really important to them. And again, I've worked with a lot of businesses, certainly down in Southampton, where those values are set from the very start. Equally, as I said, some of you might want to be finding a soapbox to stand on, because there might be issues which really irritate you, or you things which could be made better around small business finance, and you think, actually, no, I'm really, I want to make myself a spokesman for that. And so that again, that comes down to your own personal culture. What are your values? What's the brand values of your business? What are your own personal values? And how, I guess, how high profile are you willing to be? And as we'll go through this, you realize that if you can get this diagram and this plan sorted, when you do go onto LinkedIn, you'll go, okay, now I know why I'm on LinkedIn, and I now know what I should be doing on LinkedIn. So the third step is the content. So what is it? So as a bookkeeper, what content are you going to post or create that which is going to help embellish your personal brand? So again, if we look at the two different scenarios, if you say, look, I'm very low key, I get on with doing the books for my clients, I'm a responsible business owner, and I'm doing everything that I should do as a good IAB member, I don't really want to put my head above the parapet. So in that case, the content you create is probably less likely to be yours, but it may have something more to do with bookkeeping and small business finance, and you're sharing potentially posts from the IAB company page on LinkedIn, or you're sharing articles you've seen in newspapers, or you might be sharing a helpful video or whatever. So that's very much if you're low key. If, however, you want to get yourself known in your local business community, in your local area, in your profession or whatever, then it's about stepping up a little bit. Therefore, you might decide, I'd like to write an article. I'm going to write an article. It could be a blog. It could be an article which goes on LinkedIn. It could be contributing something to the IAB publications. It could be you decide, you know what, I'm going to take my first video. I'm going to shoot a video of myself, and I'm going to be talking about a certain subject. You know, it might say, look, you know, off the top of my head, there is no small business minister now because the government in their wisdom have decided they don't need one. So they've given it to someone who's got 15 other portfolio responsibilities. So it could be you're saying this is ridiculous. At the time when small business needs really good support, there isn't even a minister. So that's the government saying that they're really not interested. So you might be cross about that. So you decide to talk about it. So the content that you create is very much still based around who you are as a human being, as a professional, as a bookkeeper. And if you want to put your head above the parapet, that will then inform the sort of content you're going to create there. But then if you want to just tick over and don't want to make too many waves, then again, the content. So this will dictate, as I say, what you would be doing if you're on LinkedIn. So again, over the years, I've done lots and lots and lots of social media training courses, but on the social media sites themselves are not difficult to use. It's actually, once you get to know them, that they're all pretty much the same. The big problem is, well, I don't know what to post. I don't know what content. But then if you're on LinkedIn, the content you post is representative of who you are and what your personal brand is. So if you want to be a thought leader, if you want to be a firebrand, completely challenging the status quo, or you just want to blend into the background and just be seen as a good bookkeeper, then again, that informs that. The fourth one then is really about understanding how you network and who you network with. So this comes down to the individuals that you know, you like, and you trust. So classically on LinkedIn, that is your primary, those are your primary connections. So I just did a short training course this morning with a client and who's an estate agent, and he had 426 connections on LinkedIn. He said, I have no idea who half them are. I don't even know how I connected to them. So, right, probably not the best base for a business development strategy. So your network is really important. And so again, whether you want to be a very high profile bookkeeper or you just want to tick over and work with your local community, you still need to have the people that you know, like, and trust. Because the key thing about bookkeeping, as with many other professions, is so much work still comes from word of mouth. And the more visible you are, the more you engage with your network, the more you support your network, then the more likely it is that you can make full use of that network. So again, this is all representative on LinkedIn, but really, even if we don't think about LinkedIn, it's understanding who are the people in your network, in your area, in your town, in your client base, who you think, actually, these are important people to me and my business. How can I make the very most of them? So the fifth level is a really interesting one, which is really not very well understood. So it's really building on what I would say, what's step four. So if you've got people in your network who know you, like you, trust you, have done business with you or work with you or referred to you, it's then how can you make the very most of them? So I am a man of a certain age, and I very much like my rock music. So if we think about an analogy, if you have a guitarist with an electric guitar plugged into a little speaker, that guitarist might play like Jimi Hendrix, but if it's only a little tiny tinny speaker, then however good he is, not many people hear. So the analogy I would draw is with small businesses, even if you have a nice LinkedIn profile, you have a good website, and you have reasonable content, if your amplification is not very good, then not many people will know what you do and therefore you're not going to be very visible. So what you really need to be doing is thinking, how can I create a set of Marshall stacks which I can turn the volume up to 11 and reach lots of people? That's where your brand ambassadors come in. So again, I'll give you a real life example. So we are all involved with the IAB. Every day on the IAB social media channels, Tom Saltmarsh will be posting relevant, engaging content, which reaches out to the bookkeeping community and the accountancy book community. So if everyone on this call today were to share that content or like that content or comment on that content, then you are all being brand ambassadors to IAB. What that means is that the reach and the amplification of what Tom is doing will go up dramatically. In your own businesses, the more that you engage with others and the more that others engage with you, then the more you're going to get what you do amplified. And that is where, again, this is a really significant part of LinkedIn. LinkedIn, dare I say it, is like everything else online. It is completely governed by artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms. And the more you learn how to play those algorithms, then the more likely you are to be visible. And therefore that means your brand is visible, and that means your company brand is visible. But then the final thing, of course, is that data. So again, if you're looking at your network, if you're looking at your brand ambassadors, it's almost a case of trying to make a list of those people and think about a strategy you have for engaging with those people. So if it's a local business advisor, or if it's an accountancy firm that you work closely with, or if it's clients or past clients, and who are all very valuable. So again, your existing clients are really valuable. They are really good brand ambassadors, because if you've done a great job for a client, they're going to tell their friends who are probably also small business owners. Oh yes, I'm a bit of a pickle with my finances. Well, you need to speak to Caroline. Caroline can sort you out. Therefore, with the data part, it's understanding who is your network and how can you make the very, very most of that network. So all of that together is, it does look and probably sounds to you a little bit like a marketing plan. It is a marketing plan, but it's not a marketing plan for your business. It's actually a marketing plan for you, where you are actually the product. You're the product. So if you're the product, how do you sell that product? Who do you sell the product to? But let me tell you, obviously, each of you, if you get your brand, if you get your personal brand right, that will naturally impact positively on the brand of your business, because you, as a brand ambassador for your own business, are the ultimate brand ambassador. And therefore, the higher profile you are, and the more the content that you come up with, then the more likely people are to see who you are, what you do, and what your business does. Because again, on LinkedIn, you will say that you're an owner of whatever big bookkeeping practice. People can then find out about that practice. They then go to your website, they then learn more about you, and therefore, ultimately, you get more business. So that is a really sort of a whistle-stop tour. This, if you like, that's the background note to understanding how to get the most of LinkedIn. But rather than just saying, here's LinkedIn, it's owned by Microsoft, there's 400 million people use it, it's a very important site, and you think, yeah, so what? So what? Well, how does that mean to me? What, I'm a bookkeeper, but ultimately, I think if you get your personal brand right and you reflect, I mean, it is an interesting one, because you are reflecting on who you are and how do you come across, and that is your personal brand. And again, it's something increasingly today is what all professionals are having to do. So again, I use my example. I have my estate agency client, and I was talking to the head of agency at the practice, and I was saying to her, I was saying, look, when you became an estate agent, you never thought that curating a brand and recording videos was part of your job, but it is now. That's just the way it is, and they get it. I mean, you know, I've had to coax them out of their shells, which is quite strange considering they're estate agents and they shouldn't really need to be coached. But that is the fact. So all professions, how we promote ourselves, how we come across, all of that is changing because of the world we're in, and that does include having a personal brand. But all of you on this call will be respected in your field. You'll be respected by your clients, and the more you can then embellish that brand, and that, dare I say, that does include things like Google reviews, because that's other people. The people writing a Google review, they are effectively becoming a brand ambassador for you. So Google reviews are very important, because then that is third-party endorsement of what you do. So that is all for today from me. It's a whistle-stop tour to personal brand. What I am very keen to do is actually run a course for IAB members in personal branding, using LinkedIn and making the very, very most of LinkedIn. And what I'm hoping to do is do that as a 4-part online course, which will be available to IAB members, where I can go through in much more detail around each of these segments. So hopefully that was useful for you. I'm now going to pipe down and hand back to Caroline.
Can I just ask you a quick question, David?
No.
Hashtags. I get
Yes.
confused by hashtags. Do you have to use a hashtag?
So on LinkedIn, it is a useful, hashtags are really keywords. So if you were to write a post around the budget, whatever budget comes, I mean, there's a budget every day, you know.
Well, yeah. Today's
Hashtag
budget or
U-turn,
yesterday's budget.
Hashtag madness, hashtag U-turn, hashtag budget, hashtag what budget? Yesterday's. So a hashtag, for those who might be frightened by the term hashtag, is just a keyword. It's just a key. So if any of you were to post, you would be putting hashtag bookkeeper, hashtag bookkeeping, hashtag finance, hashtag small business, because those are keywords which relate to what you do, and what that does, again, that helps improve your visibility. So again, many of us will be aware of Google and how do you stay visible on Google, but the same mechanics are there for LinkedIn. So the more visible you can be, the more keywords you use, the more content you post, the more people can see you on the site. So
Right.
Hashtags are useful. My only one word of warning, though, those of you who may use Instagram, which is full of lots and lots and lots of hashtags, LinkedIn is not like that. I would say 2 or 3 maximum. Otherwise, people go, "Oh, this is Instagram. I didn't want to come onto LinkedIn for Instagram." So yeah, that's what would be my advice around hashtags.
So lots on Instagram and only 2 or 3 on LinkedIn.
Absolutely, because they are utterly different. It's like trying to compare the Financial Times with the Daily Star. They're both newspapers, but they are completely and utterly different, with different audiences, different content, different styles, different everything. So yeah, again, that's an extra, I would say, is that for many of you who are using social media, don't just think, well, they're all the same, because they're not. They're utterly different. You have to have a strategy for each of them. Again, that comes back to what your personal brand might be. But again, interestingly, I do know that some IEB members have actually built their business off the back of Instagram.
Right.
So it is a very, you know, that's a powerful channel as well. And that, again, that's something that I would look at. So as I said, I'm very much looking forward to running a workshop specifically for bookkeepers, specifically for IAB members, where you can make the very most out of your own personal brand, but then using LinkedIn as a precision tool rather than, oh God, it's just another thing I've got to do every day and I don't see the point of it because it's not going to make me any money. It will.
It will.
And it is useful.
Right. Well, I'd certainly be interested in that. Has anybody got any questions? Is my chat broke? Because nothing's going into my chat this morning.
Everyone's quiet today. I'm going to go and Google myself though after this.
Yeah. I shall Google myself and then I shall go on LinkedIn and use hashtag.
Yeah. No.
I mean, it personal brand. I mean, this is a really big area now, and you know, as an aside, I remember a few years ago, I actually went in. The toughest audience, and the audience of people I was the most scared of in my life was a group of Year 9 girls in a school. I thought, oh my God, you know, a whole load of 13-year-old girls. Well, I was talking about LinkedIn because LinkedIn, you can start a profile at the age of 13. So from the age of 13, you can start to curate and build your personal brand. And equally, that was one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum, I did a branding workshop for in-house lawyers for Reckitt Benckiser in Manhattan. So you've got in-house general counsel, and it's how do you build your brand within a multinational. At the end of the day, it's the same, whether you're a schoolgirl or a bookkeeper or an in-house lawyer for Reckitt Benckiser, you're still a human being. People do business with you, they like you, they trust you, and therefore, how do you make the most of that brand? Because then people are more likely to want to do business with you. So, yeah, irrespective of who we are, what we do, what our background is, personal brand has actually become quite an important issue.
I think it's a really interesting. Oh, sorry, Sarah.
No, go on, Sam.
I said I think it's a really interesting area, David. Obviously, we've discussed it, but we will be sharing some outline information on the course that David's put together very shortly for everybody, and do encourage everyone to to read through the content, because I think understanding the difference between the different social channels just as standard and how powerful they can be in their different strengths is really interesting.
Can I just say, I also think it's quite powerful that David and Janet both have the same background this morning. Because in the middle of my screen, along the top, because Sam's the main one at the moment, but along the top, there's me, then Faye, David, Janet, then Sarah, then Ali. But because David and Janet have the same background, they kind of pop out at you, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
They're exactly the same size.
Yeah.
The backgrounds. It's very clever.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, we'll all have that next time.
The IAB really stands out. So finally got somebody writing in the chat. So Joe says, thank you very much, Faye and David, very useful. And then Rachel's put, sounds a great idea, would enjoy a specialised seminar. So would I, David. So yeah.
And David, I know you're really keen on the short-term videos, or there's a specific name for them, isn't there? Short videos.
Short form videos.
That's it.
Short term.
Short term, yes.
No.
We're not doing that. What's your opinion about that in LinkedIn? Because that's a relatively new option, isn't it, as well?
So you're slightly conflating two things, but they're both very useful. So I'm glad you brought them up. So and this wasn't I didn't ask you to post that question. So first thing you touched on is what we call short form video. So a short form video is a 1 minute or less type of video, most commonly seen on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or Instagram Reels. So these are very short form videos. Now, in terms of if you're a bookkeeper, if you're in financial management around small business, then the application may be less visible than say if you were selling t-shirts to 15-year-old girls. But the short form video is very useful because actually, if you look at LinkedIn, some people who have a TikTok and they might have, you know, thought for the day, or these are my comments on the whatever mini budget the Conservative government come out with that hour, then those could be posted actually onto their LinkedIn profile. Equally though, the other aspect of it is that on LinkedIn, as with every other channel now, video is becoming a very important medium. So some of you will notice I actually did a little short video as a taster for this today. There is the opportunity to live stream from LinkedIn. There is the opportunity to do a promo video around your business. So, you know, hello, my name is Caroline. I live in I work in the beautiful town of Scarborough. I'm on the North Yorkshire coast. I've been a bookkeeper. These are the clients I do. You could do a little short promo video that then sits on her profile. So someone clicks on the profile at you know, 11 o'clock at night when Caroline's asleep. They can actually see Caroline, understand what she does. And if you see her talking, you think, oh, I like that lady. She comes across really nicely. I've been referred to her. And actually, yes, I'll send her an email. So Sarah, the answer is that video is the dominant media now across the world. It's the dominant media for many, many, many different industries. Bookkeeping and accountancy is no different. And therefore, again, one of the things that I would be looking to explore within any workshop is, as a bookkeeper, is there any opportunity for you to use video within your branding? So again, classically, you know, we talked about personal brand, but, you know, if you had a 1 minute, hello, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is where I work, 1 minute, and then that's you. They see you, they like you, and you come across. So, you know, on LinkedIn, there is an about section, but you could turn that about section into a video about section. Now, some of you would rather cut your head off or do a Liz Truss and hide under the desk and ask your colleagues to actually present on your behalf because you don't want to. So, but absolutely, I think in terms of branding, then video, like every other aspect, video is actually very powerful. And short form video equally is it could be, you might decide I'm going to do a tip of the week. So tip of the week as a bookkeeper is, you know, make sure you're doing X, Y, and Z, and you do that as a short form video, pop that onto your LinkedIn profile on a Friday afternoon. The algorithm on LinkedIn rewards you because it likes fresh content, which is video based, and therefore you get a higher visibility score.
I like the idea of that because I started watching last night videos about slow cooker recipes because it's getting into winter, and I can't tell you the stuff that I ended up watching. I just went along the reels of Facebook, and yeah, started off with slow cooker, ended with life hacks and cleaning things with salt and lemon, and yeah, it just. I like the idea though that somebody has started off watching slow cooker recipes and then gets me popping up my little video.
Jane, it sounds as though you've gone up a little bit of a rat run. So you're on TikTok.
I'm just coming to that, David. Can I just read it?
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry. So Jane's put in the chat, I just signed up for TikTok to lurk for a bit for my business. Don't make the mistake I did and put accountant as a search term. It's very much a euphemism for something else. So I was belatedly informed by teens. I'm going to have to join TikTok and find out what that is now. Go on, David, because I interrupted you. You were going to say something.
No, absolutely. No, absolutely. So I think, interestingly, I once, I did a workshop for Wolverhampton University, and I was with them and I was talking about Twitter, and I said, oh, just if you put, going back, Caroline, you're talking about hashtags. I just put hashtag Wolverhampton into Twitter, and unfortunately all it came up with was massage parlors in Wolverhampton. So we moved swiftly on from that. But clearly, sometimes those hashtags aren't very useful to have. But yeah, I think in terms of TikTok, it is the fastest growing, it's the dominant social channel there is now. Some of you, again, would think, actually, I can't wait to retire, so I never, ever have to go onto this awful site. But equally, if you think, well, I've got another 20 odd years, if that's where people are, that's where people are. As I said, that there are IAB members I know who built their business off the back of Instagram, and there will be bookkeepers who will build their business off the back of TikTok. Now, we don't necessarily have any yet, but it will happen, because if you, I noticed there was a report out last week. I think there are 171,000 Generation Z business owners in the UK. So these are under 22. So there are people under 22 who've grown up with Instagram, who've grown up with instant messages, who've grown up with Reels and TikTok and everything like that. And it may be, if they're searching for an accountant or a bookkeeper, they're not going to go onto Google. They're going to go onto TikTok. But obviously, as Jane said, if you search for accountant, maybe you've, I don't know what bookkeeper would be. So who knows? So we need to reclaim the accountancy hashtag on TikTok to stop. Anyway, yeah, interesting aside.
Thank you, David.
Videos, here we come.
Video. Whole new world out there. So
Yes, thank you very much, David. Sarah, have you anything to add? Anything from HMRC?
well, yes and no. My main I've been chasing up HMRC about the MTD. It's a consultation that the IB have invited to participate in, and I'm actually going to read you the reply because, well. So hi Sarah, many thanks for your email. As you will have seen, with the new Prime Minister announced in early September, we had a major reshuffle at His Majesty's Treasury actually now, rather than Her Majesty's Treasury, with a new Chancellor, Chief Secretary to the Treasury, and responsibility for HMRC moved from Financial Secretary to the Treasury to the Economic Secretary to the Treasury, all of whom would need to be briefed across the range of HMRC activities, including MTD. Anyway, it goes on to say, basically, they are unclear of who's leading this campaign internally. So once we know more, they will obviously start the consultation again properly. And at that point, then I shall be able to come back to those members that have volunteered to be part of that, that consultation, and we can hopefully move forward in a more organised way. So yes, so anyone, because I know Ali's been communicating with that group, but if anyone does want to come forward, please contact Ali, and then I shall let you know more when I know more. And just in other areas, going back to the budget, obviously everything's been reversed apart from the NI changes, which will affect us, all those processing payroll. So the NI charges, which were, well, which Rishi Sunak put in, have been now reversed and will take place and be effective from the 6th of November. Some of the software companies are going to struggle to deliver on those deadlines, but what has been agreed is that if or what your clients need to be informed about is that if you are unable to process those changes in next month's payroll, it can be made, the adjustments will be made in December and just backdated, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, obviously we have the cost of living crisis. What I've just been considering too in my business is what ways I can support some of our clients. There's nothing major, but just to be making your clients aware that there's R&D claims that they should or consider if they are eligible for any of those. Trivial expenses, again, minor, but worth considering if there's any way that you can save your clients any money. There are going to be overheads that are going to increase for your businesses. So I would just be conscious from your point of view that your clients are remaining solvent, and be cautious yourself, if you like, of who you're dealing with, and don't let any outstanding bills rack up over time. because there is still a lot of businesses in distress and will be continuing to do so for quite a long time, I should
I
think.
think it's more important now to get money in as soon as possible
Absolutely.
rather than waiting. I know at the last coffee morning there was a big chunk on speedy payments and getting money in quickly and having terms agreed. And I think if you've got terms with someone that is at 30 days or over, now is the time to renegotiate those terms and get it dropped down. That's what I've done anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just so beware, do consider, while we're spending a lot of time focusing on our clients' businesses and how we can support them, don't forget to look at yourself. It's the same, that analogy, you know, put your oxygen mask on first. And just a really minor thing also, HMRC's new PAYE starter form has now gone live. So they're getting away with the paper-based and new starter form, and then now it's online with the idea that obviously correct taxes will be paid. So that has literally gone live in the last few days, and they're using that. And then just from our point of view as well, we have updated our Find a Bookkeeper page, and it's now called Find a Finance Professional, and all of our supervised members will be on there. So yeah, so if you Google yourself, hopefully you can find yourself on there too.
Google yourself and that should come up.
We'll have to talk to Dave about that. But so yeah, so just be aware that that's a change on the website too. And now also we've got a new partnership with CIPP, the Chartered Institute of Payroll Providers, and we've got a discounted membership arrangement with them. So I don't know, Sam, do you want to just update everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we promoted the partnership in the magazine and via email. We've had a really great response actually, and just to make everyone aware what the process is, that once you let us know that you're interested, we have to pass your details on to the CIPP, who will then contact you to take payment and activate your membership. So I think there's been a little bit of a lull in that particular process, and the fact that CIPP have contacted people, but then not everyone has been able to get back to them. So I know there's you know, people have got lots on their plate. I think Ali has sent an email out to those that have shown an interest, and we will periodically keep reminding people that this is a you know, an offer that is open to IAB members. But it was just a reminder that if you have been contacted by CIPP and still interested, then do respond to them.
They contacted me and then made my membership live, and then a week later they sent me an invoice, which I thought was very good. That was fantastic. So yeah, I was live before I got my invoice. But yeah, very good. So Elaine says, what a muddle. I think that's HMRC, but then we won't mention politics. Lee says, can you add a search by postcode to the Find a Finance Professional search, please?
I think we can. I can't wait. I've got
I think so, yes. I'll make a note of that to check, but I think we can, yeah.
Yeah, we should be able to.
It's search by area. It's not just
Postcode. Right. That's
Okay.
it. Nothing else. Anybody, anything else you'd like to add?
No, just nice to see Poker make an appearance, the IAB dog.
I didn't see her.
Yeah,
She pops up on David.
Oh, did she?
I missed that. Mine barked in the middle of that.
Hazard of working here.
You're
Suddenly
roomy.
the dog appears out of nowhere. She's gone for a sleep now. She's made her appearance.
Oh, that's good.
Hello, I'm gone. Bye.
And also, just I had to turn my camera off there for a minute. One of our ladies from the AO department's on maternity. She's just popped in with the baby, so I just had to go out and see the baby. Unfortunately, I made the baby cry. That's what it came from. So it's lovely to see her.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Good.
Well,
All right.
lovely. So the next coffee morning will be Wednesday, the 16th of November at 11 till 12 again, and that's a Zoom again.
I won't be joining you.
Are you somewhere exotic?
No, well, no, not on that day. I'll be travelling to somewhere exotic. I'll be on the I don't know, in the car trying to get to Heathrow Airport, because it seems that it's practically impossible to get there any other way at the moment without it being a complete nightmare.
Yeah, don't trust the trains.
No, and this putting up some more strike dates, so clearly they probably won't coincide very well with with the travel
No.
arrangements.
Yeah. So yeah, well, Janet and I, we've got a business trip to India, so hopefully we'll have some exciting developments. as
Hopefully,
well.
yes, some exciting photographs, graduation, see what the World Conference of Accountants has to say for itself and what's going on around the rest of the world, and keep you all posted.
Lovely. Well, I'm sure we all wish you a safe journey, and we'll see you in December.
I know, it's quite scary. Is it a Christmas jumper day?
December will be, won't it?
Yeah, it will be.
Christmas jumper, Christmas pudding, Christmas tree
Any
outfits,
excuse.
whatever takes
Yeah.
your fancy, really.
Christmas background, an IAB Christmas background.
Yes,
perhaps.
I think I had snow falling last year. I can probably try and do that again.
I think I've worn Christmas pudding outfit 2 years in a row, so I might have to find a different one this year. Might have to come as an elf.
Yeah,
My
so
little
hopefully
friend
we'll
Louise.
all be in trying to wind down for Christmas and get
Yeah.
ready for the January onslaught.
The madness.
Brilliant.
Right. Well,
Thank you very much, everybody.
thank you, everybody. And at that, we're going to go. So I'll see everybody in November, apart from Sarah and Janet, who we'll see in December. Right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.